A company called General Fusion out of BC is going to go public. So what is fusion technology, you ask? Let's find out. Greg Twinney joins us now. He's CEO of the company General Fusion. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So as my understanding is, this is joining two atoms to release energy. But can you explain more about the process, how you do this?
Sure. Yeah. It's an exciting day. Look, fusion is the power of the future. And our announcement today is just another point in time that is solidifying that path to having fusion powering the world in the near term. Oh. You described it correctly. The process that underlies fusion is something that we see every day when we look up at the sun and stars. Fusing two light atoms together under the right temperature conditions and density conditions releases immense amounts of energy, near limitless amounts of energy. So the pursuit of being able to achieve that here on demand, creating clean, limitless energy from that is something that we, General Fusion, have been at for the last 20 years.
Okay, so...
And we today just announced going public, which is a huge step forward on our path to put fusion energy on the grid by the mid-2030s.
Okay, how much are you hoping to raise for the IPO, and what will the money be used for?
Yeah, so today we announced a merger with Spring Valley in a de-SPAC combination that will culminate in us being public by the mid-2026 timeframe. We also announced today PIPE capital raised alongside that business combination. The PIPE capital we raised was $105 million, which is the capital we need in order to execute on a really important machine that we just commissioned last year that will achieve industry-first milestones over the next few years. It's a big deal. Having that funding in place now is the last piece of the puzzle for us to go execute with that machine and achieve firsts of a kind results in a way that can be translated ultimately to a commercial power plant using fusion.
Okay, so sorry, I missed how much are you actually trying to raise from the IPO?
Yeah, so when we set out to de-SPAC and go public, we wanted to raise a minimum of $60 million. We were oversubscribed and now have commitments of $105 million of PIPE, which is the capital we need to move forward for the next few years and hit these milestones.
Okay.
So we exceeded our goal.
Let's talk a little bit more about the technology. How much energy can you generate with what you have now? Like, for example, how much energy would you be able to produce? What would that energy work for?
Yeah, so from the beginning, our approach to fusion has been with a commercial end in mind of putting fusion on the grid in a practical, viable, deployable, global way. Our power plants are designed to achieve 300 megawatts of power and do that in a way that is competitive from an economics perspective with existing technologies, whether it be nuclear, coal, natural gas, etc. And from the beginning, we've been working on de-risking that path and having this first-of-a-kind power plant on the grid by the mid-2030s. So you can imagine, given the safety profile of fusion, you can have fusion power plants virtually anywhere the demand is. This is a big, big game changer. The demand from AI, electrification of everything, is driving a huge need for a new technology like fusion to fill the gap and power the future.
Okay, so you're looking towards building that power plant for 300 megawatts. What would you be able to produce today? I guess I'm trying to get an example of where you are now and how far you have to go.
Right. So fusion is still in the development stage of proving out at commercial scale that the science and the technology can ultimately be assembled in a first-of-a-kind plant, which we aim to achieve in the mid-2030s. What we're working on now, today, and what this capital funds is a 50% power plant scale demonstration of our unique approach to fusion that is one that not just demonstrates fusion for science purposes, but actually can translate to a commercial power plant. So this machine that we've now built and is operating and commissioned earlier in 2025 will be funded with the PIPE capital and will operate to achieve three big industry recognized milestones. Okay. 1 keV, 10 million degree temperatures inside, then 100 million degree temperatures inside, and ultimately break-even fusion conditions inside our machine. We'll be one of the first companies in the world to ever achieve that.
And where do you plan on building them?
The machine is already built.
Sorry, the power plant that you're hoping to build around them.
Yeah, so after this machine hits those milestones, we'll go and start building and designing our first of a kind power plant, of which we've got many partners that we work with and have not yet selected a site, but are evaluating several sites, partners, financing, et cetera, in order to go forward and do that. But in the near term, in the next 3 years, we need to hit milestones with this machine that's already commissioned and now funded.
Okay, we know that some of the big tech companies in the U.S. are partnering with smaller companies who are in the same kind of technology push that you are. Do you have partners like that? You mentioned you are working with partners. I don't know if you can name them or not, but do you have big partnerships that are going to act to back you all the way through?
Yeah, we have developed what we call a market development advisory committee. These are early movers that are potential long-term customers of ours that want to adopt Fusion in the future. We work with them to develop the technology roadmap and ensure that what we're building is something that they can own, operate, finance, all of those things. And so our partnerships are based on, quarterly get-togethers with this group and ensuring that hand in hand we're moving forward. There's a massive demand for energy, as you know. And so finding a place to build and operate fusion plants is not going to be a challenge.
Greg, I've got to leave it there. Appreciate you joining us on the show. Greg Twinney is CEO of General Fusion.